Hey everyone, how are you? I am back, and guys, I was so mad. I had made a whole video for you guys on making molds. How they got deleted is still beyond me. But I have to make this for you before I show you the rest of it, because I want you to be able to see how you can make your own molds. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a caulking gun, okay? Look how grody this is. It's my husband's caulking gun, okay? Okay, two different recipes. One is going to be the silicone. And guys, it has to be 100% silicone. It has to be, okay? Got this at Lowe's. It was like $3.98. I think the first one I'm going to do is with the Dawn soap and the silicone. The second one is going to be the cornstarch and the silicone. This one's messier, but you know guys, I'm not sure which one I like better. I think there's pros and cons on both. Now, I think I'll go with the easiest. What I mean by that is not so messy, is with the silicone and the Dawn soap. All right, so today what I'm gonna do, in the last one that I did, I made graham cracker molds, which I'll show you, and I made wafer cookie molds. I made these molds, and you'll see the molds done. They're upstairs, but that's the footage I lost. Ugh. Anyway, it's kind of okay because now we're going to see different things being made. I buy a lot of molds for my faux food, okay? And there are certain molds that I wouldn't even try to make at this point. I might later, but right now, no. But on that same token, there are ones that I think, you know what, if I can make these and not have to buy them and just save for when I need a particular mold that I think, I'm not going to be able to do that as well, I will. So what I'm going to try to do today, and I got these at the Dollar Tree, are the circus animals, and I'm going to try to make a mold with these. A lemon that I already did one in the other one that was lost, but I'm going to do it again because you guys, it turned out so good. It really did. And then I'm going to, with this grody apple, and it doesn't matter because you're just making the mold of it, an Oreo cookie. I'm going to make a mold, and this is the lemon Oreos. And a banana. But not a whole, because I have a mold for that. I want to make sliced bananas. Oh my gosh, you guys, if this all turns out, this is going to be crazy fun for faux food. Okay, I wanted to show you. I cut up the apple and the lemons in different ways. As you see, a piece of it whole and then wedges, and the same with the lemon. A whole slice and half slices. I'm not going to do the banana yet because I don't want it to get mushy. The animal cookies, I'll try to find the best ones to be able to mold. This hippopotamus looks pretty good. Can't tell that's an elephant too well, but I'm going to go through these and see which ones are the best. And then the Oreo cookie will do. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is, I bought these cutting mats at Dollar Tree. You put those down on your counter. You don't want this silicone or any of that to get on your counter, okay? I have two of them. You can't see them too good, but I do. I have a bowl that I only use for my crafting. Definitely gloves. I think they're called nitron gloves. I'll have to look again, but these type of gloves. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on. That is a must. And with the Dawn, it's kind of good in a way. I did do this already, even though the footage was lost, because I kind of got a feel for it. And the most important thing with the Dawn soap is to get enough of the Dawn liquid in the water, in the cold water. And then I put a little bit of Dawn soap on my gloves because you don't want it sticking to you. The other thing is, when you're doing this silicone, you want to make sure that you have made the hole inside of this big enough, because I kept trying to squeeze with this caulking gun and oh my gosh, it was a nightmare. So anyway, I'm going to go get this and get a nail so I can get inside, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, so I got a long nail, and the first thing you do is there's a little, oh, his caulking gun doesn't have it. Well, anyway, in the newer caulking guns, there's a little hole right around in this area, and it's made to clip off the top of this. But since his, I must have done it with the other one, I'm just going to cut it off. Then what you're going to do, and this is why you need something long, you're going to come in and you're going to poke it. And you're just going to keep poking it. What I did the first time is I poked it once thinking that would do it. No. You really want to get all of that seal gone. It's much easier. Believe me when I tell you that. Okay? Okay. Okay. All right. Now, fill this up with some cold water. Okay, so now I'm going to put all my Dawn soap in. And guys, for some reason, what I've seen before, people use Dawn. And I don't know if there's a difference, but I'm just doing what I saw and it worked for me last time. Now I want to make little molds in the beginning, so I'm going to try not to use as much. Okay. And you want to kind of just get the Dawn soap around the silicone, because if you don't, it's just going to stick to you and make a big mess. I can feel it coming together. See that? This is a much cleaner type of mold, and you'll see what I mean when I do it with the cornstarch. And you just really want to get this incorporated into it. But definitely put the Dawn soap on your gloves. It helps, because you see, it's not really sticking too much at all. I think I need a little bit more of the silicone. Out of the two, I like this method better because it is not as messy. But like I said, they both have their pros and cons as far as when you're molding something. And it gets a little warm when you start kneading it. But I just really want that soap in there so when I put a mold in, it's not going to stick. I'm going to make this in half because I'm going to make at least a couple molds out of this. Okay. Just want to make sure it's not going to stick real quick. Okay. Now when you make your mold, you want enough of a, I don't know how to say it, like a little bit of a wall, if you will. So if you decide to use resin or wax, if you don't have enough. Now the other thing about this too is it's slippery and it's harder to work with than the cornstarch. That's one of the cons about it. And you don't see how that just made a hole? You can't do that. So I'm going to have to use a little bit more of this. Because it does slide around. So you got to press in enough to get some kind of an image, right? Make sure it isn't coming through on the back. That's important. And it's hard because it slips away from you, as you can see. Okay, I got to work with this fast. It's starting to harden a little bit. Now I'm going to make the Oreo mold. Now the only thing about these, another con to this, is when you're doing something like this, it's going to mush because it's hitting wet, right? I'm just going to hold it for a minute. So I can get the imprint. Okay, I'm going to look at my animal cookies and then I'll be back when I start to mold one. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more. I hope I have enough for my cornstarch, dang it, but I want to keep going on this. With this, I think I'm going to do the banana. This is so much cleaner. Okay, I'm going to cut that banana real quick. And I've had this banana a couple days. Preferably, I would like to have gotten a banana that was not at all ripe because they're sturdier, but it is what it is. Okay, can you see that? Okay. Okay, that's all I'm going to do there. Gosh, I should do the apple with this, shouldn't I? Darn it. I don't think the mold's going to be big enough for that apple. Doggone it. I really did want to get a mold like that. Of the big one, you know? I think it would be too thin. Yeah, I would need a lot more. Well, Well, you guys, maybe I was able to. Cool. Okay. Should we go for another one? And do the slice apple? All right. Okay. Now we're going for the cornstarch, and you're going to see what I mean. It's a lot messier. But they do make good molds, so you'll see. You'll see. You have to use quite a bit because you really have to get the silicone coated with it. Even touch that silicone because it'll get all over. You can see what I've done is I've taken the cornstarch and I've just coated it. And now I'm working it into the cornstarch. It's a lot messier. But it's not sticking to my hands, and that's good. But you have to knead it a lot more because you really need to get this cornstarch incorporated into this silicone. Because if you don't, it's going to stick and your stuff is, whatever you're molding is going to stick to it. Now I'm kind of squeezing it with my fingers to get that cornstarch in there. But guys, this opens up a whole new avenue of making faux food if you can make your own mold sometime. I do have a mold making kit that I bought, and I'll be using that too. But this is much less expensive. And I can feel it's getting warm. It's still a little sticky. Okay. Try to get 2 out of this. But it's a nice smooth dough once you get it going, you know. So let's see what happens with the Oreo cookie. Now, the pro to this, do you see how easy it was to build that wall just by sticking it down where the other one kind of spreads out? So I'm going to leave that one the way it is. I think I can get 2 animal crackers out of this. And the reason I want this kind, because this frosting, I was afraid and the little candies would start gotta make sure the back that it's not pressed down too deep. But on the same hand, you got to make sure you have a little bit of a wall. Okay. You guys, I think we're going to have enough to be able to do the apple and the lemon. Good, cool. Do you see the difference, what I mean? They both have their perks. All right. I'm almost out, but thank goodness I was able to show you both. And that's what was most important to me. It bothered me so bad, you guys, because I had told you I was going to come and show you. Dang, that bugged me. It really did. Stuff like that bothers me. When I tell you I'm going to do something, I want to do it. I can tell by the sound of it I need more because it's like sticking to the glove. See, if you notice, I'm having to knead this one more that's in the cornstarch than I did with the Dawn soap. Okay. I want to get at least 2. Banana wouldn't need that much. Let's put our banana in it. Okay. Let's get our apple. I'm hoping to get the apple and the lemon out of this. So that one molds really good, actually. I have enough of a well. See that? Look, you guys. That's nice. I was so excited that the Dollar Tree had these because I didn't want to spend a lot of money, you know. Okay, all right. So that's it, guys. That is how I do the molds. Now we'll go. Okay, guys. This is what I got out of 1 tube of caulking. Okay. And look, I got a lot more of the cornstarch ones than I thought I would. Look at that. So you're, like you see, they're still in the silicone mold. And if I, let's see what happens. You can't see it here, I don't think, but when you put wax or resin or clay, you're going to be able to see the indentations. Let's look at the apple. See what that did. Okay, this one I'll be able to use with clay. I don't know about resin. I didn't make the walls big enough, so that's okay. We'll try it with clay and see what happens. I'm going to throw these away because they've been in silicone. Okay, let's look and hope the banana did something. Yeah, you can't see it, but I can see the indentation. You'll be able to tell when whatever I'm going to do. Okay, now remember I told you this was going to get mushy? I know it will, but I hope it just took the indentation of Oreo. See, it's stuck in there. It did! It did! Oh, I hope it didn't go through. Anyway, I'm going to wash it out. I knew this would happen, and that's no big deal. You guys, it did. It got the impression of Oreo. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Again, I know you can't tell, but I can see it. Let's take out this one. Yep, it did. Yeah. Woohoo. Okay. All right, let's go now. Look, I got more actually of the cornstarch than I did of the Dawn soap. Oh, now you can see it. Look at that. Yes. You guys, look. Do you see the Oreo? Let's look at the lemon. Yep, it got the lemon, but again, no well. So resin or wax would not work with this one, but clay will. See, with resin, you need something like this where that resin's going to pool. This one, it would here, but not here. Ah, that's a drag. All right, let's look at the apple. Again, right here, it should have been this way all the way around, but I wanted to make sure I had enough to make different molds. So what this will do, I can use clay and it'll work, but it wouldn't work with wax or resin. This one should. Let's see. I'd have to be very careful right here, but if I poured it just right and not let it go past that, it would work. But do you see the importance of building it up all around if you want to use it for something other than clay? Big deal. You just have to use more silicone. But like I said, I wanted to try all these things with you, and that's why I kind of gypped myself. This little fake strawberry I put in here, I don't know if it didn't, it's no big deal. And then I did this one. That one almost came through. Do you see the shadow of my finger? You don't want that, because in time that's going to wear. Let's look at the banana here. Nice, nice. You even see the little seeds. I am so excited. Oh heavens, look. That one, this one's perfect. You see how I made the well all the way around? Perfect. Let's look at the animal, circus animals. That did good. Perfect. Guys, for the most part, everything's a win-win. Now, I know to some of you, you're going, oh, good, Davida, I don't get it. I don't see much of anything, but you will. You will, I promise. Let's look at the graham cracker. Now, this is with the cornstarch and silicone, okay? Popped right out. And I don't know if you can see it, but it made the mold of this, the little holes. Same with the pony. Look how easy that came out. I hope you can see this. Perfect. Let's look at the cat. Popped right out. Starch and silicone so far. Now we have to wait until we put some clay or plaster of Paris or the wafer cookie. Came out very nice, and all I have to do is wash that out. And you can wash these with water now. I made with the Dawn soap and silicone. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to take the graham cracker. It's kind of mushy, so I'm hoping I got a mold. And I did, but I don't know if the well of this is high enough. That's the only problem. But now that I know I can do it, but we'll still try it. Okay guys, so here are my molds that we did downstairs, okay? You know, and I like both of the ways we made them. This being with the cornstarch and silicone, okay? and they get hard, they get like rubber. You see that? I can move it around. You can wash them out. Some of the pink from the wafer cookie just got embedded. It's no big deal. Here are the little animal cookie molds. Now I'm going to tell you, I did use a little bit of the release spray, and I have that in my Amazon store too. I don't remember seeing it just in regular stores like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. That doesn't mean they don't have them. I just haven't looked for them there. But when I used the modeling, the magic model from Crayola, and this you can get anywhere, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Amazon. I get some from Amazon because I get it in bulk, the white, but the black and the green and the yellow I have is from Hobby Lobby. That works better with the silicone molds that I showed you. Putting it in here, I mean, now I was not patient, and I just wanted to see if it would mold, because that type of mold you can take out if you're careful before it's completely dry, if you just can't stand the thought of not seeing how it's working, which I get like sometimes. But what did work better on the molds I made was the air dry clay, which I use and I have used for years, and if you've watched my Faux food, you know I've used this particular kind. It works very well. $6.99 at Hobby Lobby. Okay, and then after I'm done with this and it's all gone, I keep these containers to put my spackle in when I'm using it, because you want something that's going to keep it moist, and it will stay like that for over a week, by the way, if you don't use it all. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you how I put this into my molds. And I got this coffee bean mold for another DIY I'm going to do, and I have not been happy yet with the way these turned out. Now let's see if this one works. I kept this one overnight. Oh, okay. So I'll be okay with these. It's a little bit cracked here, and that's what you're going to find with the air dry. This has a tendency to be a little bit rougher looking opposed to plaster of Paris. Plaster of Paris, of course, is very smooth. Problem with plaster of Paris, in the things that I want to do this year, it's heavier and it breaks a lot easier. The air dry clay, and especially this type of clay, this one has more of a rubbery, let me show you one. This one has more of a rubbery. What I mean by that is, see how I can, this is dried, but how I can kind of push on it and it goes back to shape. And that's how it'll stay. It'll stay with that rubbery consistency, okay? Where here's the air dry clay, and you can see it's got a little bit of crack, and you can fix that. But this won't move. It's hard. So they all have their pros and their cons. But I think with the coffee beans, I will use plaster of Paris. And I don't think I'll fill them up all the way, because I don't want them quite that deep, because this is a pretty deep mold. But this is the first one that really turned out. The rubbery one, now that could be my own fault that I just didn't leave them in and I was too fast. So I hate to even say that to you, that it didn't work. This particular kind didn't work. What I did is I tried to take it out too quick. It's a lot more of a sticky when it's first inside the mold. And so when I tried to pop it out, you can see where it stayed on here because it wasn't dry. So I think that was my fault. But anyway, we're not talking about that mold today. All right, so what I'm going to do today, I'm going to show you, like I said, putting some of the air dry clay. See, it's got a good seal. And always keep the lid on it when you're using this. After you take out the mount you want to use, you're going to want to put the lid back on, because this will start drying, and you don't want that to start drying in this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll put it in my graham cracker mold. And you guys, I love the lemon, how the lemon turned out. And this, I would use resin, wax, and you can use this because I've made them last year. But I had bought the mold. You don't need to. You saw how I did this. I'm thrilled over this one. This is the one I'm really excited about because now I can do different fruits, okay, and make fruits with this. So that's cool. So I'm going to take some of this air dry clay and I'm going to roll it because I want to get it a smooth consistency, as smooth as I can get. Because like I said, it has a tendency to kind of be kind of cracky looking, if you will. I don't know how to explain it to you, but... And I did not spray this with the release again. I only did it once because I want to see if you can get more than one molding out of one spray. I don't know if it's going to take a spray every time, but this one I'm going to leave in and I'll take it out tomorrow. I can't be so impatient. Now, the reason that I put the sides up on this is if you're going to want to put wax or resin. Because if you didn't put this well, if you will, around it, that resin's going to fall right out. So you have to have something that's going to keep the liquid inside. If I was only doing clays, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay, so I'm going to leave that. And with this one, I think I will do one of these wafer cookie. I think I'll do this one. It'll be easier to get out when I'm done. And I'm just going to elongate. See what I mean? And then all I have to do is press out. And if you don't want the cookie as long, and say you want a shorter one for whatever reason, and I'll be showing you things that I'm doing, and it's all going to make sense like I told you before. Everything I'm doing is going to make a lot more sense when I start doing the faux food series. Okay, so I'm going to leave that one now to dry. And like I said, it'll take, because it's a thicker, and the thicker it is, the longer it takes. So this, but it's really warm here. So it depends on your climate as well. If you were doing this in the winter, back east where it's snowing, it might take it a few days. Here it's hot and it's not going to take any time at all. Alright, so let me show you the things that I did make last night that I pulled out early, but that still had a really good mold on it. This is the graham cracker. I am very, very pleased. I don't know if you can see or not. Little indentations, but what I'm going to use this for is going to be absolutely adorable. Now of course it's going to be painted. Now I want to show you, this one was made with the Crayola Model Magic. Obviously it was the white, not the black. I'm just showing you the package. But do you see how I can move this? Do you see how it's flexible? Do you see what I'm saying about the type of medium it is? Now I want to show you one that I did with the air dry clay. Okay, then this is the original colors of them, but look. Can you hear that? Rock hard, and if I was to go any harder it would break. So that's the difference. I still got the mold I'm looking for, and with it painted, when I get done with it, it's going to look fine. Here I did the wafer cookie. Remember the pink wafer cookie that we made the mold with? Here it is again with the molding, Mold Magic, okay, from Crayola. And then here it is with the air dry clay. So it's two different mediums. It's whatever you like. This one is really nice because, like I said, it's not, this is heavier than this. This is very just lightweight. This is heavier, it's denser. It's a different medium entirely. So showing you these molds are going to work. They're going to work perfect. Again, thrilled beyond measure with this one. This one would be really cool with wax or with resin. But I'll go ahead and I'll put, you know what, I'll put some air dry clay in this one. And it's going to have a completely different look, obviously, because you're going to be painting it. Model Magic, in case you want to get it, take a screenshot. Crayola Model Magic. They don't have a huge amount of colors, but I do want to get the brown. Its consistency, it's like plastic. That's the only, it's got a really different consistency. Oh, and it comes off in your, this one came off in my hands. I don't need that much because I don't want it really thick. You don't have to fill up the whole mold if you don't want, depending on the thickness you want of it. And I'm going to let this dry. I'm going to just not be so antsy to take it out. And I'll see how it does for 24 hours. If it comes out easy, perfect. If not, I will put more of the spray mold release on it. Now, what I would do differently with this one is I would make the mold even deeper, because do you see here how it's cracked? Well, if I put in resin, it's going to start seeping out of this crack. You don't want any cracks. You don't want it too thin on the bottom or it's not going to work. This is a perfect thickness as far as the bottom. But this little crack is no bueno. You don't want that crack if you're pouring liquid. I'll try a little bit and see what happens on one of them. Also, when it's warmer out, this gets more sticky. But it's, like I say, they both have their pros and cons. So, that's what we're going to do. I hope that you enjoyed me making these molds. Go ahead, make some of your own. And what I put in here today, you will see in my Faux Food DIY series. Also, here is the little animal cookie. That's with the air dry clay, and I just have to come in and take off some of this clay that it shouldn't be around there. And you just take a little bit of sandpaper, real fine sandpaper, and you can take it off. But those little animal cookies are going to be cute. Guys, until we get together again, remember, the world's a better place because you're in it. Don't ever, ever forget that. When I say that to you, I mean it. There's only one you, and you bring something to this world no one else can. Take care, everyone. Talk to you soon.